Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And yes, we are back in the studio, as you guys already know. You could probably hear from the mic change. I do apologize for that. I did take some time off this weekend. Pretty much wasn't too much time off, as you guys already know. I uploaded over the weekend anyways, but it was good to get away from the overall lab that I've pretty much been working in, but now we are back at it. We are back in the lab cooking up the fire content for all of you Crusaders out there. Overall, the market looks fairly good. We're going to be addressing that. We're going to be talking about Bitcoin. We're going to be talking about Hbar a little bit, addressing Hbar's overall chart. We're also going to be talking about the end of the bull run in this video as well. So if you guys do enjoy that daily crypto content and you guys have been enjoying the content lately, definitely hit that like button, also subscribe and turn notifications on, as it does help the channel grow immensely. So thank you guys, and I do greatly appreciate that. Before we jump fully into this content though, I do just want to let you guys know that now is pretty much the time to get this Ultimate Crusader Trading Bundle Pack on my website, NCashOfficial.com. I understand that a lot of people, they don't want to put money into anything. It doesn't matter. You guys don't have to purchase this at all. I'm not telling you guys that you have to. A lot of this content you can find easily. You can learn a lot of it. These are my personal exit strategies. These are my personal strategies in general to trade the market. It's currently about $55.99 right now. But this is the deal, right? You purchase for one price. This price will increase every single time that I do release a new product on the store. But if you purchase at this price, you pay once and you get all future content for free as well. So it's a pretty good deal. Overall, you guys are not obligated to purchase it or anything like that. I'm just letting you guys know ahead of time. So overall, we're going to be talking about the entire market, but we're going to be addressing overall Bitcoin addresses and the overall money influxes of those pretty much addresses being accumulated. So when we're talking about pretty much January 1st of this year to the current moment in time, we do see that as more and more addresses are pretty much active, right, the more and more money that flows in, obviously, right? We see here the number of active addresses was 1.3, almost 1.4 million. The price was at about 36.8K. Now we see a lot of active addresses actually declining from our current high that we had back in September 30th. It was roughly around 1 million overall active addresses, and the price was about 43.75K. Now we actually see the price is significantly higher. Let's actually just zoom in a little bit. Let's go to, we'll go to May of this year to the current time frame, right? So overall, oops, sorry, didn't mean to click that. But overall, when we're talking about what's happening here, so here's the steady decline of the price all the way down into those nice bearish points. We actually seen at one point in time there was roughly almost 500,000 only active addresses of Bitcoin. That was June 27th. Now, what is happening with this chart? It's pretty volatile. It's up, down, whatever. Now, we do see here that the current price of Bitcoin at September 6th was about 52.6K roughly, right? Active addresses, 963,000, right? Now, if we go back just to September 30th alone, right, which was roughly 4 days ago, we seen that there was 1 million active addresses, and the current price at that point was 43,750, which means a lot of accumulation happened. Now we're seeing a little bit more, price action, but not too many active addresses now. We actually fell by roughly around 260,000 active accounts, or active addresses, if you will. Why is the price still continuing up? What has happened with these active addresses? Well, it's very, very simple, right? It's just the idea that currently at the moment, we've seen a lot of accumulation, so we're seeing a lot of profit take at around the $50,000 mark. It's most likely that they are seeing some resistance being printed at that point. As a matter of fact, we could actually look at that on the chart right here. So as you guys already know, my base strategy for any time that I like to sell an altcoin or buy an altcoin, it's essentially buying support, selling resistance. I've said that multiple times in the past, and I will continue to say that now. When we're talking about Bitcoin right now, we do see this is major resistance at the 49.3K mark. I know a lot of people don't think that that is significant resistance or whatever the case may be, but it actually is, right? When we go all the way back to when we were pretty much trying to get to these highs up here, look at how much resistance was at this level going all the way back to around the end of August before we officially broke out and retested some resistance up at the 50 point, almost 6K point. There's a lot of resistance here, but I don't think that this is going to hold too much longer. Realistically speaking, let's go to the hour zone and check out what happened here. So, of course, we bounced off of this multiple times. We actually bounced off of it initially on October 3rd, which was yesterday. We retested it perfectly, bounced off of the resistance, came down, and actually retested some major support. There actually wasn't too much support at the 47.8K mark, but that's because there's not too much support there anyways. Realistically speaking, the major support zone is around that 47.8K, roughly almost exact point. Now, when we're talking about this, we came down, retested support. We actually came down and actually retested perfectly, I should say, the 100-day MA. As you guys already know, I said that, Bitcoin loves the 100-day MA. Technically speaking, this is the 100-hour MA chart, but overall, when we're talking about what's happening right now in regards to Bitcoin, we see us kind of coming down, retesting some major support. Maybe there will be support found at around 48.5K, as we did see it bounce off of there on the hour chart, but realistically speaking, there's not too much support here. I would most likely bet on this actually retesting about 48K exact down at the 50-day MA. Wouldn't be too crazy of a push downward. But overall, that is probably a lot of those accounts taking some profit here, as we do see us kind of topping around that point, hitting some major resistance. But I can tell you right now, on the one-day chart, we look extremely good. We look extremely strong. I still think that we are very bullish. Overall, when we're talking about these active addresses to pretty much the price, this will probably fluctuate as we move on within our time frame. Now, I just want to say right now, let's go to September 1st to October now. As you guys do see, so we could see the major chart fluctuations here. We could actually see it on a little bit of a zoomed in basis. But we do see that the number of addresses throughout September were accumulating up here. But then we seen that major profit take, and then we continued upward, right? That is exactly why we watch these accounts, because these accounts are telling us, something other than the price. For example, a lot of profit take here in regards to the number of active addresses, which means to tell me that we'll most likely see a little bit of a retest of a major support zone. Or is the accumulation already finished today? Will we see much higher today? It's hard to say right now. Currently, we're going to be having to watch the chart for a major rejection off of some support. But we do see on the daily chart that we came down, retested actually the 50-day MA at roughly almost 46.7K. We pretty much retested that major support. We'll most likely see a lot more accumulation happening now that we did test that major support. There's a lot of strength there. Again, that's the top of that major demand zone as well that I wanted to be back in when we were actually down here, which is very good to see as well in regards to the strength of Bitcoin. So realistically speaking, should we be retesting a major support zone? No, because we already did that. In fact, I would say that this is most likely going to result in a major spike in the number of active addresses, meaning we'll see some accumulation happening in regards to this, and then we'll see some fluctuations happening in the price as well, where we will see a parabolic move to about 53K plus. Now, what does that mean for Hbar? Well, it's very simple. So we've been watching Hbar very closely on this channel. As you guys already know, I'm essentially married to Hbar at this point. But when we're talking about Hbar, this is showing some signs of weakness around that 42 cent zone overall. I've said multiple times that this is our major resistance point. When we check out the other charts, when we check out the 4-hour chart, right? Look at the 4-hour major resistance levels. It is that 42 cent point. That 42 cent point is getting weaker and weaker every single time that we retest it. So I would expect a major breaking point to be at this point very, very soon. And when we will pretty much break this, that will pretty much be the coming truth of us retesting 46 cents, which is the original all-time high for Hbar. This will also lead us to retesting 50 cents up here and breaking above that to retest the all-time high currently up at about almost 50, like 8 cents roughly. So when we're talking about Hbar, it looks extremely strong. We are retesting some major support here at about the 40 centile range. And now we're kind of trading in this major chop zone. So until we lose a major support at 40 cents, or until we break over that major resistance at 42 cents, I'm not going to get too excited overall. And of course, we could break down a little bit below that 40 cent zone. As you guys do see, we retested about 37, almost 38 cents exact, which 38 cents is a fairly strong point for us to hold. But overall, it's not a major support zone or anything like that. Just in general, though, when we're talking about Hbar in regards to the daily chart, it still looks very good. It still looks like we could, pretty much break out of that major 42 cent zone support, or I should say resistance support chop zone between 40 cents and 42 cents. So what I want to see right now is just pretty much see, around the 40 cent zone being held. Of course, you guys do see us peaking down a little bit below it, which is totally fine. Like I said, we could retest 38 cents exact before we do break out of the 42 cent zone. But as long as 36.7, which is this line here, is held, which I think is major support going all the way back to September 23rd, we should be fine. But we should be breaking out of the 42 cent zone probably by the middle to the end of this month. Realistically speaking, the middle to the end of this month, I'm expecting us to be well over $1 plus in regards to Hbar's price, depending on how good Bitcoin could move in regards to price action. So right now, I'm watching Bitcoin and I'm also watching Hbar fairly closely, because right now the entire market is ranging within Bitcoin's grasp, as we do see Bitcoin dominance ranging even higher here. We actually see us breaking out of some major resistance points. So I'm watching this very, very closely. I'm not watching the indices too much because it looks like we have decoupled from the overall stock market. It's nothing too crazy. It's nothing that we haven't seen in the past. Usually during a bull market, we kind of decouple from the indices anyways. And I think that this is also very good to see for our long-term growth, or even short-term growth in regards to bull markets in general. So overall, I'm not watching the indices too much this week, as they kind of close fairly rough. But I will say I will be watching the dollar closely, as we do reject off of that major resistance point up there. We are retesting that 93.73 point. We broke down a little bit below it, but we haven't broken down significantly below that. So until we do, I'm not going to get too excited on the dollar just yet. I'm actually waiting for this to reject a major support zone yet again. Until then, I'm not going to, get too bullish within the dollar grasp. But I will say this: Bitcoin dominance ranging higher will basically push Hbar down a little bit more if Bitcoin does reject and retest those major support zones like I was talking about. So if you were looking to enter in on Hbar, you could wait until around the end of this week. I do think that we will still see a little bit of a bearish pattern print out just for Bitcoin, just to retest a major support zone, and then we will pretty much go off in regards to about that 53K point being retested and broken officially. I don't think that we retest too much lower though. Overall, I think that we will bounce off of the 50-day MA if we do retest a little bit more of that support zone down there at around the 50-day MA at about 46.7K roughly. So I'm watching these charts fairly closely. I will continue to address them as we do move forward on in this week. I know that a lot of October could be a little bit bullish, but the first quarter of October, so around the 1st to roughly the 10th of October, is a little bit, volatile, right? It's good, it's bad, it continues like that a little bit, and then obviously the middle of October to around the end is very, very bullish for us. So I'm watching all of these charts very, very closely here. A lot of this stuff looks very good in regards to bullishness or bearishness. I would say most of the market looks very, very bullish. There's nothing really bearish in regards to, are we going to crash here? No, I'm not expecting a crashing point. It's most likely just a retesting point of some major support. So in regards to Hbar, if Bitcoin could work with us, if you guys are looking to buy more, we could see a retest of roughly about 36.7 to 38 cents. In regards to Bitcoin, in regards to a retest, it's most likely around that 46.7 0.8k zone roughly. So watch for those levels very closely, but overall we're talking about some major accumulation happening within a lot of these altcoins. We check out the, of course, Hbar Bitcoin chart. It doesn't look too good in regards to trading on some major resistance in regards to a support and also resistance chop zone. So until this level is actually officially broken, meaning the 875 sat level, which we were looking at previously when we were talking about the previous all-time high being broken at around 46 cents, this is what we want to see broken, right? This is what we want to see retest it and officially get broken out of in order for us to be back over that 46 centile zone in regards to pretty much pushing higher to about roughly 50 cents plus. So overall, I hope that clarifies a little bit of the market in regards to Hbar. I'm very bullish on it. But nonetheless, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys don't want free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are. And just before this, been Nick. Peace out, guys.